Hi, I'm Dr. Leif Smith. After 21 years and seeing thousands upon thousands of people in my office, I've decided that I would like to share with you 4 tips that you can use in your daily life that are going to help you live better, be more productive, and be happier no matter what's going on in your life. So let's talk about what resilience is. Resilience is the ability to bounce back. Resilience is the ability to keep going no matter what's going on in your life. You could also call resilience toughness, and a lot of people do, and I'm okay with that. But what I want you to think about is, how resilient are you? How resilient are you in your everyday life? Chances are you can be more resilient, and there are ways to do that. And so I'm going to talk about 4 secrets that I've learned through thousands and thousands of sessions with people over the years. 4 secrets that I've pulled from that are across all of these clients that I've worked with, across all of their lives. And we're going to use those to help you improve your life. So let's get to it right away. Secret number 1 to becoming more resilient is you need to be more accepting of reality. What does that mean? Well, acceptance of reality. And by the way, there are 2 realities in your life. There is an objective reality, which is what is going on, the facts of your life. So for instance, the weather, the people that are in your life, your job salary, what you do for work, where you live. Those things are objective facts. They cannot be denied. Well, they can be, but you're psychotic if you're denying them, right? So that's an objective reality. Now, the second sort of reality is subjective reality. That is your opinion on those objective facts, your opinion on what's going on in your life. So whether you like living in the Midwest in March and April, that's a subjective reality. What you think about your job, what you think about yourself, how you see yourself, these are all parts of your subjective reality. So when I'm talking about acceptance, I'm talking about acceptance of the objective reality. I want you to work on accepting what's going on in your life. People that are resilient, and I would include the thousands of clients that I've worked with, they have this ability to accept even the most dire circumstances, even the most tragic circumstances, even the most difficult or annoying or whatever circumstances in their life. Now, what that means, acceptance means you accept, you acknowledge that this is your reality. Notice, I did not say that you like that this is your reality. I did not say that you love that this is your reality. My clients that are resilient accept the reality. They accept it as it is, warts and all, tragedy and all. Because when they do that, now they have a starting point from which to work. When you accept the reality that you'll never be an NBA player, now you can move ahead and get a career and do something else. Maybe go be a hockey player or a football player. I'm kidding, but some people are that talented. I'm keeping it light, obviously. But when you accept your reality, no matter how tragic, no matter how sad, no matter how difficult, you are now in reality and you're able to move forward knowing all the facts. That's a very important part of the secret of being resilient. You have to acknowledge the starting point. You have to acknowledge that your life is tough. You have to acknowledge that you've been through some stuff. Actually, the research shows the more stuff that you've been through, right? And I'm not cursing here, but you know the word I'm talking about. The more stuff that you've been through in your life, the stronger you're probably going to be later on, because you've been through some of the worst case scenarios. Now, it doesn't feel very good when you're going through it, but later on, you're tougher. So, secret number one is to accept the reality that you're living in objectively, your objective reality, to accept it, to acknowledge this is my starting point. This is the hand that I have been dealt. Health-wise, geographic-wise, salary-wise, money-wise, relationship-wise. This is where I'm at. And I'm going to start from here, and I'm going to build my life. Secret number two to becoming more resilient in your life is to develop a sense of purpose. My clients, the ones that do really well, my tough clients, the ones that make it through the muck, they have purpose. And purpose means you have a why that drives your behavior. There's an old saying, you can endure any what if you have a why. And I think that was Nietzsche, but I'm not sure off the top of my head. But it's a very important statement. You can endure anything if you have a reason to endure it. Maybe it's your family. Maybe you feel like you have a calling because of the talents that were bestowed upon you at birth. But if you have a why, then you can endure the temporary muck, the temporary tragedy, the temporary difficulties that you are going through, because you can see that there's something at the end of that tunnel. There is a light at the end of that tunnel. There is a goal at the end of that road that you are walking on, no matter how slowly you're walking. So, secret number two, you need to have some sort of purpose. If you don't, I suggest you develop a purpose. For instance, in my life, my purpose has always been to help people. I grew up and I had some tough times, right? Like everybody else. I grew up one of 12 kids. We grew up with money problems. We grew up with health problems. I had severe asthma growing up, even though I've always been an athlete. I was intubated twice. I was on life support twice before the age of 20. I was in the hospital over 100 times growing up because of my asthma, because of the stress, divorced family, 12 kids. I could go on and on. But what I found is the reason I could endure that is I had a purpose. So once I became older and once I started getting more educated, I realized I wanted to help people going through similar situations. I wanted to help people manage their stress better. I wanted to help athletes perform better. These are things that I needed when I was growing up, and some of the stuff I got, some of the stuff I didn't get. Both of them went into becoming who I am now. And so it always drives me. I want to help people. I get satisfaction out of helping people and giving them the tools that they need to do better in their life. That is my purpose. Aside from being a good father, being a good husband, being a good person, and adding value to people's lives. When we have purpose, for instance, like that would be one example. When you have purpose, you can keep going no matter what's going on in terms of difficulties in your life at that moment. The third secret to becoming more resilient is flexibility. And I'm not talking about the ability to do the splits, because if that's the case, then we're all screwed, unless you're a Russian gymnast or something. So flexibility, cognitive flexibility is very important, meaning the ability to change, to go with the flow. We need to be able to change how we think about things. We need to be able to change our subjective realities, sometimes in a moment. Sometimes in a moment. We have an idea on what's going to work, for instance, in our life. We have a business plan in our business, and it doesn't work out, and we lose all our money. Well, we need to be able to think on our feet. We need to be able to be flexible and change how we're going to do things. Maybe you have some ideas about relationships and how they work, and then you get your heart broken, or then you get cheated on, or then you get divorced. And all those ideas need to be thrown out, and you need to readjust. That's cognitive flexibility. Cognitive meaning mental thinking. We need to be flexible in how we mentally approach things. What I found in my life is, even being a behavioral expert, and that's what I am. I'm a behavioral expert. I'm wrong in my assumptions probably half the time. Half the time an expert is wrong? How are you going to be any better in how you assume that things are going to go in your life? You won't. If I'm wrong all the time, you're going to be wrong all the time too. Very important to be flexible as a result. We need to be able to change our mind midstream. We need to be able to be flexible, to make adjustments, to take in data and change our mind as we go. That is a huge part of being resilient. And I've seen that in all my clientele. For instance, I have one client, I've worked with her for almost 20 years now. And when I started working with her, she was in one career. She was a lawyer. Well, she didn't really like that. And she went through a lot of trauma while she was a lawyer. And she went through a lot of things that made her doubt her career and who she was. And she became depressed. She had a lot of trauma associated with stuff. She went through some difficulties outside of that. Well, what she did was she changed her mind midstream. She changed what she wanted to do. She changed how she looked at the world. And she ended up becoming an intensive care nurse. What a great switch, right? What a great switch. What an odd switch. How many people go from being lawyers to intensive care nurses? Not many, but she was able to do this because she was flexible cognitively. And you can see this goes back also to having a purpose. It's very important for her to have a purpose. And so being a lawyer and working on, paperwork and billable hours and those sorts of things did not fill her cup. That did not fill her with a sense of purpose in her life. I know she has purpose now as she's helping people in intensive care units. So that would be an example of the flexibility that we need to be able to switch something midstream. In this case, it was her career. She switched how she looked at herself and what she needed mid-career. And now she's happier than she's ever been. The fourth secret to becoming more resilient is the ability to master choices. People that are resilient can master the art of making a choice. What does that mean? Well, it's kind of related to being more flexible, but it's the idea of agency, the idea of personal agency. You are in command of your life. You are in command of your subjective reality, no matter what the objective reality is. When you have a sense of personal agency, you understand that change is up to you. You can't control what happens to you. You can control how you react to it. We call that personal agency. You could also call this a locus of control, an internal locus of control. So people that are resilient and people that make it through the muck, that make it through tragedy, that endure through difficult times, they have a sense of personal agency. They have a sense of an internal locus of control that they are going to make adjustments in their life so that they can live better and do better by them and by other people. Very important. If you think that you are helpless, if you think that life happens to you, instead of you choosing your life and your events, choosing how you react to those events, you're going to be in trouble and you're going to feel helpless. But if you feel that you have some choice in the matter, no matter what happens, no matter how many times you get knocked down, you are much more resilient and you are going to get the job done and you are going to be successful no matter what. I guarantee it. And so there you have it. Four secrets, I should say, or 4 ways that you can be more resilient in your life. Choose any one of them and work on them, or choose all 4. But I hope you were taking notes because this was gleaned from, again, thousands upon thousands of sessions with clients over the course of almost 21 years. I hope this is helpful for you. I know it was helpful for me being with these clients and learning these secrets. And it's verified everything that's in the research also. So 4 ways that you can be more resilient in your life. And I hope that's helpful. And I hope you join my community, and I will see you in the next